Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Crico Investment Fund has been launched by the Ministry of Finance and the Economy as promised in the 2012-2013 fiscal package. Progress made to develop a National Forest Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. And Food Production Minister says the time has come for citizens to start cherishing local and original food crops. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Finance and the Economy has launched the Crico Investment Fund as promised in the 2012-2013 fiscal package. The fund aims to settle the balances due to the Crico policyholders and help them recover any funds they may have lost when Crico collapsed. Finance Minister Senator the Honourable Larry Hawaii explains exactly how the fund will work.
The Crico Investment Fund is being set up to offer to the short-term investment product, or sometimes called STIP holders of Crico and BAT, who accepted government's offer of up to $75,999 in cash and government 1 to 20-year zero-coupon bonds, the opportunity to redeem their 11 to 20-year zero-coupon bonds for units in the fund. The Crico Investment Fund is a $5.1 billion fund which has been capitalized and sponsored by the government of Trinidad and Tobago with 40 million shares of Republic Bank Limited, representing 86% of the assets of the fund, and government bonds amounting to $702 million with a tenor of 25 years, yielding 4.25%, which represents approximately 14% of the assets of the fund. The fund has been set up as a closed-end fund with 204 million units to be issued, and a finite life not to exceed 10 years.
Persons who accept this initial offer will receive dividends twice annually, once in February and again in August, with the first dividend expected to be paid in February 2013. Minister Hawaii also explains to persons that they would not be subject to income taxes on the dividend income from the fund. The Finance Minister is assuring bondholders that the fund will seek to protect their hard-earned money while ensuring transparency and full accountability.
The units in this fund are registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Hence, it will function under strict regulations designed to protect the interests of investors, including the requirement to have public financial reporting. The trading price of the fund will be declared daily on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Hence, you will be investing in a transparent product, and regular updates on the value of your investment will be available.
Minister Hawaii says the setup of the fund reiterates the government's intentions to protect the policyholders and secure the country's financial system. Details on the fund would be available at retail banks and brokers' offices, as well as the Ministry of Finance and the Economy's website. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
In other news, progress is being made to develop a National Forest Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. This guarantee has been given by Minister of Water and Environment Resources, Senator the Honourable Ganga Singh.
Minister Singh gave the promise that consultation talks will be held on the proposed formation of a National Forest Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. He gave this promise while addressing a workshop titled Improving Forest and Protected Area Management in Trinidad and Tobago. The workshop was geared toward development of a project proposal to address the improvement of a forest and protected areas management in order to access grant funding from the Global Environmental Fund. Minister Singh says he will personally head the committee, which is entrusted with ensuring the formation of the authority. He has also moved to allay fears that no consultation will be held on the formation of the authority.
I have indicated that I will head the committee to engage the process to bring about the National Forest Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. We will engage in a process of consultation first with our employees and the union representatives, and then we will go out for wider consultation. The structure is clear. You have to make an autonomous body, and you need to have financial allocations for that and give them clear objectives for achievement and benchmarking associated with that. So we are very clear as to what we have to achieve. And this inception, reception workshop hopefully will point a direction and embrace that change that we are embarking upon.
He insists it is clear that the authority is a necessity if the necessary and relevant forestry management policies are to be successfully implemented.
There has been significant consultation before. And now that forestry is in the focus and the mainstream of the national agenda, we intend to leave a sustainable institution. So you do not have that kind of situation where you have a policy being formulated but never formally implemented. And we need to focus the resources in this area. We need to build capacity in terms of the talent and human personnel within what is now a department into this new authority.
The authority was first conceived in February of this year by then Housing and Environment Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal. He envisioned an organization which he said will focus on cutting-edge scientific areas in the field of climate change and the environment. Dr. Munilal at the time believed since the work of the Forestry Division has increased, there is a need to have more scope and institutional capacity, which a traditional division may not have. The proposed Forestry Authority will also be responsible for the successful implementation of the National Forest Policy, the National Protected Areas Policy, and the National Climate Change Policy. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. While livestock products continue to be widely consumed here in Trinidad and Tobago, efforts are being made to improve and increase the quality of production. Food Production Minister, the Honorable Devant Maharaj, says it's for this reason government seeks to revamp the buffalipso industry and improve the livestock sector.
With Trinidad and Tobago consuming the largest quantity of animal protein in the Caribbean, ensuring the increases in production will lead to an improvement in national grading standards, and sanitary slaughter of small ruminants is vital to the competitive market. It's for this reason the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, is seeking to introduce the effective transfer technologies and information for the improvement in domestic produce from low-quality imports. Speaking at the workshop targeting local livestock farmers, Food Production Minister Devant Maharaj says currently plans are being reviewed to revamp the local buffalipso industry.
I had a continuation of a series of meetings and conversations on a proposal to commercialize the operations at the Mora Valley estate. As you know, their focus is primarily on buffalipso, and buffalipso, as you may be aware, is perhaps can be considered one of the secrets of Trinidad and Tobago, having quality meat and quality milk, yet still we have been unable to monetize that commodity.
Minister Maharaj says initiatives aimed at improving and expanding the meat industry in Trinidad and Tobago lies in focus being placed on animal husbandry, existing side by side with the ecosystem.
While our traditional markets are the most accessible to breeders and heirs, they also happen to be the most underdeveloped and unregulated. The experience in Trinidad and Tobago for the past few decades has been a single-minded pursuit of agricultural enhancement at all costs, which has claimed animal husbandry as a victim. Some development schemes for agriculture intensification through land development and irrigation have completely sidestepped the necessity for a balanced ecosystem function, including the maintenance of a synergistic relationship between agriculture and animal husbandry. There has been a rapid loss of available lands for grazing sheep and goat, primarily on account of changing land use and property rights regime.
He adds that while government is aware of the challenges faced by farmers in the sector, it will continue to work towards the improvement of the industry.
These changes in elements of the farming ecosystem manifest in declining land and soil productivity, greater reliance on chemical fertilizer, and a higher cost of agriculture inputs. The loss of land for grazing has resulted in decreased flock sizes and reduced number of shepherds. In Trinidad and Tobago, livestock production and agriculture are intrinsically linked, each one being dependent on the other, and both are crucial for the overall food security of our people. The livestock sector plays an important and vital role in providing nutritious food rich in animal protein, in supplementing family income and generating gainful employment, especially in the rural sector, and particularly among the landless, small, marginal farmers and women.
This year's workshop saw the participation of farmers, supermarkets, meat processors, as well as vet public health inspectors and the Ministries of Food Production and Health. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Meanwhile, the Food Production Minister says the time has come for citizens to start cherishing local and original food crops, especially the ones that are being cloned in other parts of the world. He underscored that this kind of neglect for own genius here in Trinidad and Tobago must come to an end.
Speaking at a workshop seminar on crop management and productivity, Food Production Minister Devant Miraj pointed out that Trinidad and Tobago is extremely prosperous when it comes to food crops, some of which he says other countries are even attempting to clone. One original crop in particular is the scorpion pepper, which was formerly ranked as the most piquant pepper in the world, according to the Guinness World Records.
So it is no surprise, for example, that our scorpion pepper, considered the hottest pepper in the world, is now being exploited by Australia and Mexico. The Bufalipso is trying to be cloned in Colombia. Our cocoa, as you all know, many other countries are trying to develop cocoa similar to ours.
It is on this note the minister sought to remind persons of the government's mandate, which is to reduce food import bill, food inflation, and to increase food security.
The timeliness of Marcus's, for lack of a better word, discovery or achievement in food production couldn't be better. It is very fortuitous that this achievement comes at this particular juncture. Across the world, with the drought situation in North America and similar climatic changes in other parts of the world, has made food security important for nations that normally would not be concerned with food security.
The minister adds that his ministry also has plans to find ways of reducing the price of wheat in the local markets.
It affects a very core staple in our diet of all people in Trinidad and Tobago, flour, for bread and roti and so on. But cassava is a good substitute without affecting the taste if done in the correct proportions. But we have to do it in the volumes that make it economically viable. And we have not achieved that to date. Additionally, we have to get the technology to process it, which the ministry is also working on.
Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. For the second successive year, Carapachama East Secondary will be in the final of the BGTT First Citizens Secondary Schools Big Five competition. They pulled off the upset of the season by defeating favourite St. Anthony's College in the semi-final on Tuesday. News 4 Sport ventured to Carapachama and spoke to some key members of the team on their success to date.
Carapachama East Secondary ended the 27-match unbeaten run of defending champions St. Anthony's College when they met in the BGTT First Citizens Big Five competition last Tuesday. And all the elements at the school were preparing for Monday's final. Carapachama will face Presentation College of San Fernando in Monday's Big Five final due to the South Zone champions' 2-1 victory over Scarborough Secondary of Tobago in Wednesday's other semi-final. Caps captain Colonel Alexis told us how it feels to be in the final.
I feel good to be in the Big Five finals because this is the second time in a row in the Big Five finals and we don't get much opportunity to be in our finals. Central Zone is known as one of the weakest zones, and I think if we come out with a victory on Monday, to show that we could play football too.
Vice Captain Treverson Calise was still elated about the semi-final win.
It was a sweet victory because nobody was really expecting us to win. We're going out there and prove everybody wrong. The feeling in the school is very good. Everybody is together. You can feel that good vibes here.
Centre-back Darren Cox did not play in the semi-final because of an injury, but he was surely involved.
Well, I words can explain it. I don't really feel ready to come out. Ready to run down.
Calise had something to say to their fellow finalists.
And my message is we come in. So if a little like it, too bad, come in.
Cox also had words for the unbeaten Southern champions.
Well, I want to let them know it's a hard game, so don't take us lightly and eat any place so back.
Carripichaima East will be seeking to go one better than their 2011 campaign when they face a rampant Presentation College for the Big Five title on Monday. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after the break. Stay with us. Congratulations are pouring into the team at Anime Caribe on its 11th edition on the Anime Caribe Animation and Digital Media Festival. Speaking at the opening screening at the Digicel IMAX Theatre, Minister of Science, Technology and Tertiary Education, the Honorable Fazal Karim, says Anime Caribe has made significant strides in developing the animation industry both locally and regionally, and expressed his appreciation for its dedication and commitment to materializing its goals.
Anime Caribe seeks to make the most of the youth resource of this country by developing academic programs with the University of Trinidad and Tobago UTT and providing opportunities for students to showcase their creations. Its programs infuse patriotism by using local folklore characters and local themes and images to appeal this country's population.
That the development of computer-generated film will alter the form as well as the content of film animation. Thirdly, animation will no longer be an arcane, mysterious profession limited to only animators. In addition to supplying entertainment in theaters and on television and advertising spots on TV, animation will become an essential teaching aid in both education and industry.
Minister Karim says animation goes beyond the bricks, mortar and computers. Outside of a concrete structure that declares it an established business, he says animation is about inspiration, hard work, determination and success. He adds this is where the business begins.
Animation will no longer be looked down upon as the poor relation of live action filmmaking. Ladies and gentlemen, as I read this article with great interest, written over 40 years ago, every one of Hallis's predictions came to pass. And today the animation industry has reached every country across the globe with applications in every sector.
He says too many times we have spoken about vocational training versus academia. He believes this is an opportunity to close the gap.
Today, the rise of animation has come about due to the availability of broadband technology, user-friendly software, compounded with a significant appeal by the younger generation. With growth from $122 billion in 2010 to a projected $242 billion by 2016, that is between 12 to 15% of growth every year. The animation industry is considered as one of the fastest growing industries globally, with significant opportunities for all.
Minister Karim says he therefore sees the animation industry in this country becoming a prominent investment sector, on par with its tourism and cultural counterparts. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
The city of San Fernando celebrates 24 years since becoming a city, and in commemoration of this, it has outlined a calendar of events aimed at lifting up local culture. As San Fernando Mayor Dr. Navi Muradali says, it's about returning culture to the city.
Bringing culture back to the city. That's how this year's City Week celebrations have been dubbed. This year, the city of San Fernando celebrates 24 years since attaining city status. And in commemoration of this, a slew of activities showcasing the musical talents of the city has been lined up. As His Worship the Mayor, Dr. Navi Muradali, explains, it's about promoting the arts and culture in San Fernando.
The Street and Food Festival is really an opportunity for us in San Fernando to showcase our culture and really to promote culture in the city of San Fernando. For far too long, I think we have neglected the promotion of arts and culture, and I think that this gives us an opportunity to really do that. It also gives us an opportunity to bring some investment into the city. These sorts of events, these large events, certainly bring a lot of people into the city, and we also are giving the small businesses opportunities to showcase their food. We are hoping that they come out in their numbers for the food festival, which would be in Skinner Park and on Superior Street, and hopefully as well that all of the other persons who are setting up the infrastructure and so forth would also have an opportunity.
This year's celebrations fall under the banner My San Fernando and will see the participation from Trinbago, NCBA and Tuco for Juve and the launch of its Carnival 2013. Stephen Joseph from the South Central Regional Offices of NCBA describes it as a chance to put back the city on the stage through the hosting of such events.
With this enactment of the Mass in San Fernando for the city, we will now see people having a double reason to stay in San Fernando.
Organizer of the event, Kenny Phillips, says so far over a dozen carnival bands have registered and is assuring the support of the police and the relevant authorities for a safe 2012 celebration.
These events is a packed weekend. It's an exciting weekend. In fact, we are offering the areas for private people to put on events as well. You know, don't let it just be a city thing. We at the city have been in collaboration with the special interest groups like Trinbago, Tuco, and NCBA to make these things happen. We would like to invite private citizens to put on events as well along with us so that we could make the city more exciting and have more action, because San Fernando is alive once again.
Persons interested in participating in this year's events are asked to contact the City Corporation located on Harris Promenade for more information. Celebrations will continue until December 16th, when a Christmas parade will be hosted with focus on children living in the city's environs. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.